Hello again, everybody. After yesterday's bad news, I thought let's do a video with a bit of good news. So I looked at the new queens tonight because I caught them on a Thursday. So today's day 21, 3 weeks since I caught them. And as I've said before, 18 to 21 days, about 3 weeks, is what you're looking at to get larvae. And here you can see that there are larvae. And this queen has kindly separated her brood out so that you can see the difference. So in the nearest to the camera, those are the eggs, that pile of little white sort of oval shaped balls that you can see. And furthest from the camera, behind the eggs, those bumpy sort of white worms with their hooked over heads, those are the larvae. And sometimes I see people posting asking for help or advice with their colonies, and they're trying to describe a problem, and they refer to just everything as eggs. And that's one of the things that I would say if you're a first-time ant keeper is learn the difference in the brood and learn what those different stages of brood mean. So here, the larvae, these are things that need to be fed. They're actually alive, and they can wiggle. The hooked over bit at the end is their head, and they can wiggle their heads around. That one there that she's got her foot on, the one in the middle, is already extremely large fat larvae. That one is doing very, very well. This is Queen C, and she is ahead. She's not way ahead, actually. I'll show you Queen B in a second, but she was the fattest in terms of gaster size when we were looking at them, and she's furthest ahead. This is Queen A, and I would say that she had the smallest gaster, and she is furthest behind. You can see her larvae. She's got larvae, so everything's going fine. There's no problem here, but they're a lot smaller than Queen C's larvae. In fact, the one that's nearest to us at the very front is barely bigger than the egg that's just behind it. I wanted to show this picture as well. This is zoomed out on my microscope camera. So this is the sort of image that you would perhaps see if you're looking with a magnifying glass, sorry. And you can see at this distance, it is really quite tricky to separate larvae from eggs and to see the difference. And often, again, I see people who say, oh, nothing's happening. My Lasius aren't developing. And in fact, they are. Like, they've moved on to larvae, but they're not noticing the difference. But yeah, like I said, they're these hairy, bumpy white worms with little hooked over heads that need feeding. They'll be begging for food, and the queen will be feeding these larvae. And as she feeds them, they get bigger and fatter, and couple of weeks as larvae, and then they'll go to pupa. And I wouldn't be surprised if Queen C, the one with that big fat larvae, doesn't have a pupa actually next week. I mean, that is a really big fat larvae, but it's probably because it's been so warm. Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. Until next time, goodbye.